Hello, this is Mrs. Politsky, and these are notes for Chapter 21, Section 2. This is a continuation from the lecture from yesterday, and we are ready for Roman numeral 2, letter A. The cover-up unravels. In June 1973, John Dean was called to testify that a former Attorney General had ordered the Watergate break-in. In 1973, the U.S. Senate decided to have a special hearing on the involvement of the break-in at Watergate. And this is something that John Dean said under oath. On July 16, 1973, a White House aide testified that Richard Nixon had ordered a taping system installed in the White House. This taping system, as I mentioned yesterday, was nothing new. Most presidents had had one. But now it is public record that there was probably evidence of some kind of cover-up that was probably on the tapes. And so the U.S. Senate wanted to subpoena the tapes to be used as evidence to see whether or not the president had actually ordered the cover-up. Letter C. Nixon refused to turn over the tapes, pleading executive privilege, the principle that the White House conversations should remain confidential to protect national security. This led to a back and forth between the Senate committee hearing, the hearings, and the White House. Meanwhile, Vice President Spiro Agnew was forced to resign, having taken bribes. And as a result of that, we have the appointment of Gerald Ford to the vice presidency. Letter E. Several days after Nixon handed over the tapes to the House Judiciary Committee, they voted to impeach Nixon, or officially charge him with misconduct. They voted to do this, but there was never exactly an impeachment that actually took place for Richard Nixon. Because within a few days, on August 9, 1974, Richard Nixon resigned the office of the presidency, fearing that at some point in time, some of the information that was on the tapes would come out, and he would, be impeached officially and have to leave the White House. As a result of all of this, I had mentioned yesterday that Bob Woodward had been covering this case for the Washington Post. He had had an insider in the White House supply him with some information about this cover-up. So in letter G, the Watergate crisis prompted a series of new laws intended to limit the power of the executive branch. Watergate left many Americans with a deep distrust of their public officials, but others saw the affair as proof that in the United States, no person is above the law. Now, a moment ago, I had mentioned about Bob Woodward and the fact that he had had a tip from an insider. And for years, that insider would be identified only as an individual named Deep Throat. And for years, Woodward remained silent about who was Deep Throat until the man died. And the man was a guy named Mark Felt. Mark Felt had worked for the CIA. He basically did not want to be revealed until after his death. And shortly around the time of his passing, it was revealed that he was the informant who, for the most part, broke the Watergate case. All right. Thank you for listening.